The first thing that we have to do in order to get your content to convert better, and this is going to be the biggest letdown on my list, I promise, but it's to change your mindset and to change your goals. The goal of content should not be for direct conversions. If you think I am making this video because it is going to make me direct conversions, you've missed the complete point. The point of content is to get attention. The point of content is to spread your reach. The point of content is to give you something of value, an asset to go out and connect with new audiences that have never seen you before. That is the real goal of content. If you are looking for direct conversions, then don't invest in content right now. You should be doing more direct marketing. You should be doing sales. You should be doing lead generation things. You should be doing outbound sales. You should be hiring BDRs. Those are tactics that are going to generate leads or generate customers very quickly. Content is much more of a long-term plan. Specifically, content is how you build a moat around your business, and content is how you build a long-term pipeline. Content is how you bring people in that don't need a 6-week-long sales process. They come in and say, I've been following you forever. I've been watching your videos. I've been reading your blog posts. I've been following you on social media. I know exactly what you do. I know exactly what you stand for. I know exactly how you can help me, and I want to work with you. All I want to know is how much is it going to cost. That's what content can do for you. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take 6, 12, 18, 24 months. Yes, I said 2 years it's going to take to really build up that pipeline through content. But once you do it, it's hockey stick growth. And it's something that it's just not really measurable by traditional attribution models and traditional marketing goals. So to me, the first thing, again, that you need to do is you need to shift the goals, shift your mindset, and understand content is not a direct marketing tactic. It is a long-term play. It's much more of a branding and a moat building play. So that's tactic number one, is you got to shift your mindset and shift your goals. Now, number two is much more tactical. This is going to be all about shifting the intent behind your content. So after I get off my soapbox there and talk about how content shouldn't drive direct conversions, there's plenty of content that can drive direct conversions, but you got to shift the intent behind what you're doing. And to me, when I work with my team at the agency, the first thing I tell them is this content solving a specific problem for our customers' target audience? If it's not, then we want to reprioritize this and put this towards the end of the list. The easiest way to do that is to start every campaign by flushing out problems and pain points. We do this for all of our clients in what we call an offer design workbook. Let me show you real quick. This is an actual client workbook. What we do here is we essentially just ask a bunch of questions and we flush out a bunch of different problems, a bunch of different pain points for their target customer. And what we're left with is a number of essential seed topics that we can use, and almost kind of like pillars, if you will, that are always making sure that everything that we do is driving back to some sort of problem or pain point for the customer. Because it's very easy to go off the rails and start creating very high level content that, is in market maybe, or maybe something that people are searching for based on keyword volume, but it just has no teeth. It has no relation back to the business, and back to the business really means back to the core problem. What is the core problem that this business is trying to solve, and how can we create content around those problems to make sure that we're always spoken off, we're always bringing people into the ecosystem and into our funnel the right way. So as you can see, this is one of the slides in here, and we literally just list out the problems. And you can see here too that these are not keyword based. I say this all the time. One of the problems why your content isn't converting is because you're using keywords to build your content as opposed to what your customers are actually talking about, what your sales team's telling you, all these different problems and fears and anxieties that they're having. That's what we want to do. We want to start with those, and then we'll map those to keywords when we're doing blog content. But we want to keep those problems, because the way that you should be doing content is you come up with these problems and then you build different pieces of content in different mediums off the back of those. So you do a video, you do a podcast, you do shorts, you do a blog post. Each one of those different mediums, right? Those distribution methods, and also video versus written versus audio, it should be about the problem. Right? Keywords are really for blogging because we're trying to get it to rank in search, but it shouldn't maybe be for a podcast episode or for a LinkedIn post that you're doing, but it should always relate back to this core problem that we're trying to solve for our customers. So for example, this here is for a client of ours that does link building services. And when they came to us, they were writing a lot of very high level blog content, like, 99 best free pieces of software for link building and 99 outreach emails to send for your whatever, blah, blah, blah. And those are cool. They were picking up traffic. They were helping with the overall authority and kind of placement and targeting of the website, but they weren't really driving any customers, and we couldn't really use those as assets across channels. When I say across channels, I mean taking that blog post and not just trying to get it to rank in organic search, but pushing it to LinkedIn or pushing it to the email list. And that's because those were all keyword driven content, right? People on your email list or people on LinkedIn aren't there searching for those keywords, so of course they're not going to care about it, but they care about themselves, they care about their problems. So if your content is about problems, and when we go back to solving these problems, right, like the core here is they're worried about how to get links for their clients, they're worried about how to get links. That is what we want to address. We want to address those very deep, anxious pain points that their customers are having, and we want to create content around them. So all of this starts with shifting how you're viewing your content and getting off of this keyword driven approach and focusing much more on a problem driven approach. So that was tactic number 2, which is shifting your approach when it comes to your content targeting, focusing more on problems and less on keywords. Now, tactic number 3 is all about CRO, or conversion rate optimization, for your blog. And there's a couple of things that I like to do here. Number 1 is to have a blog format and a blog design that is built for today's internet user. Now, today's internet user is almost exclusively mobile. Desktop is more secondary. And I know we as marketers often forget that because we're always on our computers, but most consumers are on their phones. So what does that mean? It means that it's changed the way that we have read. We now read up and down, we scroll vertically, we don't read side to side. So if your blog on your desktop format is like 1200 pixels across, it's too wide because people don't read across, they read up and down. We're used to scrolling and skimming. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to look at the design of your blog. Is it formatted in a way that's conducive for today's internet user? Number 2, off the back of that, is, are you chunking your content properly, using subheadings, using images, using media? If you just have one big wall of text, even if you're ranking first, people aren't going to stay and engage on this. And you can check in your Google Analytics to see how long people are on your pages for, what the bounce rate is. Are they engaging with more content after that? Conversions are a process. People don't just read a piece of content and convert. There's steps in that order: engagement, clicks, visiting multiple pages, staying for a long time, checking you out on social media. That's the real path to conversion. It's not always trackable, but we can start by looking at these initial signs, and that's engagement on your content with dwell time and bounce rate. So if you just got a massive wall of text with improper use of subheadings, no internal links, no media, stuff like that, it's pretty boring content, and it's not going to convert even though you're getting the traffic. And that's how the data can lie to you. You see the traffic come in, you see your rankings, but people aren't actually staying there consuming it. So how could they convert? And there's even more things that we can do too, including adding in macro and micro conversions to your blog. We do this on Webbers. If you go to our blog, you'll see all over the place we've got macro conversions and micro conversions in terms of content upgrades, capturing emails, social share tools, and then also we've got our traffic projection analysis on there, which we'll use to actually push people through from a blog post into an actual sales call. And these are easy, small design things that you can do that might not have a massive boost right away, but when you do all these small incremental design changes and really optimize your blog for conversions and for engagement and for today's modern internet user, you will start to see a lot more conversions coming for your written content in terms of generating emails as a micro conversion or generating book calls as a macro conversion. Tactic number 4 is all about leveraging your written blog content on your website to drive value in other channels across the internet. And that's simply by using remarketing ads off the back of your blog. So if your blog is getting a lot of traffic, right, you're picking up a lot of keyword rankings, people are coming in, that's free traffic. But again, a lot of that is just not meant to convert because the intent behind a lot of that content is going to be very high level, very informational, very discovery. They have no idea who you are. They have no idea what you do. Again, they're not just going to come and read a blog post and all of a sudden pay you $100,000. It just doesn't work that way. So what you want to do is you want to connect the dots for them. They come to your blog content, you understand what they're coming for, what they're searching for, because you can see that data in Google Search Console. And from there, you can build remarketing campaigns across social media, across Google, that will actually drive them down the funnel manually. So if they come to your website looking for, going back to that link building company example, they're looking for, best software for link building, right? You know that they're in market, you know that they're doing some link building, they're somewhere along that journey, but just that piece of blog content isn't enough to drive them in. But if that piece of content is picking up 10, 20, 30,000 visitors a month, but driving no conversions there, then we can hit them with ads on social media. Then we can serve them ads on Facebook and actually drive them down the funnel and make an offer to them because we know who they are and what they're looking for. And this is something that very few companies do. They just invest in SEO, or they invest in blog content, they invest in some type of content, and they don't connect the dots because they don't fully understand how their customers finding them and the path to conversion along that. Again, there's no more one touch point thing. People don't just see something, especially in the B2B space, and then sign up or become a customer or have a sales conversation and buy. There are multiple touch points along the way, and we want to try and push those on people in the best way that we can. And it's super easy and super cheap to just set up remarketing ads off the back of your blog content. So let's go back and recap. If you want to get your content to convert better, there's 4 tips that I have. Number 1, change your mindset. Content is not meant for direct conversions. It's meant to build a moat. It's meant to build a brand. It is the best way to build long-term equity in your business. There are other tactics that you can use that are much more direct if you want to generate leads right now. Number 2 is shift your intent. Stop building all your content off keywords and start focusing on solving problems for your customer. Number 3 is doing a conversion rate optimization exercise across the blog, adding in call to actions, formatting your blog's design to fit how people want to read and consume content on today's internet. And number 4 is building a cross-platform, cross-channel digital strategy where you're using your blog's traffic to then feed remarketing ads across social media. So as always, if you like this video, please drop me some comments. I'd love to go back and forth. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.